Well, good morning. Good morning. This is Charles Coachman, and we're walking our way through the Bible. Walking our way through the Bible, reading our way through Proverbs, digging in deep into the book of Acts, and as always, putting on the whole armor of God. Hope everyone had a wonderful day yesterday, and hope that you are looking forward to today. Well, let's start out like we normally do, doing our shout outs. Well, let's start out with something that happened yesterday. And there are some hiccups going on with Facebook and StreamYard. And apparently, sometimes the comments that are going out cannot be seen by those doing their shows. And yesterday was my lucky day. And so several of you made comments, and I could not see them while we were doing the live stream. And I was able to see them directly afterwards. So if it happens again today, I will probably wait until the end of the show again, because I don't want to stop this broadcast. And I'll just answer messages and say hello to everyone after the show once again, because I was completely unaware of what was going on. I could see one message, and that was from Kathy. And from that point on, I didn't see anything else come in. And then once this was over, once the live stream was over, I saw a bunch of messages, and I'm going, okay, good. I didn't irritate everyone, so they shut it completely down. So I was a little caught off guard with that yesterday. And then I was taking part in some other shows yesterday afternoon, and the same thing happened with them. And the fellows that were running the show said, we don't know what's going on. We can't see the messages. So we know that people are out there. We just can't see the messages. So, all right, now let's go to shout outs. Let's go to shout outs real quickly. Sandy Lincoln. Sandy Lincoln is out of Minnesota. She is part of, she does sports medicine, and she does weight loss, and hugely successful in both. So Sandy, wishing you a very happy birthday. Second lady has been a friend of mine for 40 plus years, and she used to work with my mother years ago when they ran a real estate office. And back in those old days, Leanne was our Contra Costa County fair queen. And we met around that time, and we had some fun times around then. But Leanne, wishing you all the best in your birthday. Enjoy it. Enjoy this day. And then one of my favorite people in the world, Rex Smith. Rex is one terrific fellow, and I am grateful that he is in my life. He has been through a lot over these past couple of decades, and I am just grateful for my friendship with Rex. And we kind of have a story of a lifetime, heading to men's retreat years ago, driving the back roads from Gilroy over towards Santa Cruz, and our good friend Christian Henry at the wheel, driving an old beat up delivery van like it was a sports car through the mountains. And Rex and I were just glad to live to talk about it. But Rex, happy birthday to you, my friend. God bless you. God bless each one of you. And if it's your birthday out there, happy birthday to you, but especially Sandy, Leanne, and Rex. Have a wonderful day. God bless. All right. And then I also want to think about our friends Weldon, Curtis, Rex, Danny, Red, Shelley, Nancy, Rosalie, and Jenny Van Pelt. Jenny, I know that you had your test done yesterday, so I hope that you got some wonderful results yesterday or today. Thinking about each one of you and praying for each one of you. Praying for your health. Praying for a return to health. And knowing that we have a God that loves each one of us. So guys, God bless. All right, let's take a look and see what we have. Today, we are going to be reading through Proverbs 21, 1 through 31, Acts 14, 1 through 28, and as always, put on the whole armor of God. Be prepared. It is Wednesday, April 21st. It's 49 degrees in beautiful San Jose, California. Didn't feel like it was going to get much warmer than this yesterday, but it did. Turned out to be a very, very nice day. Winds are keeping us up. So let's see. Springtime in the Bay Area. Springtime in the Bay Area. Let's see. Well, you know what? Today we got some messages. Today we have been blessed. Technology has come through. Good morning, Kathy Sherritt's Carball. Good morning to you. Yeah, wish you a wonderful, wonderful day. Keith Landris, good morning to you. Good to see you, Keith. Frank Nell, good evening to you. Good evening. Good morning to all who are watching. And blessed birthdays to all those having birthdays. And Gloria Brown, good morning. I am glad that you are with us today, Gloria. As always, most of the time, 99% of the time. Frank Nell, good morning. Kathy, Keith, Gloria, and Kevin. And Tom Ginn, good morning, Tom. Glad to see. Thank you, Tom, for being here. And thank each one of you for being here. Let's pop on in and see if we can get this going. All right. One sip of water, please. On life and conduct, Proverbs 21. The king's heart is like channels of water in the hand of the Lord. He turns it wherever he wishes. Every man's way is right in his own eyes, but the Lord weighs the hearts. To do righteousness and justice is desired by the Lord more than sacrifice. Haughty eyes and a proud heart, the lamp of the wicked is sin. The plans of the diligent lead surely to advantage, but everyone who is hasty comes surely to poverty. The acquisition of treasures by a lying tongue is a fleeting vapor, the pursuit of death. The violence of the wicked will drag them away because they refuse to act with justice. The way of a guilty man is crooked, but as for the pure, his conduct is upright. It is better to live in a corner on a roof than in a house shared with a contentious woman. The soul of the wicked desires evil. His neighbor finds no favor in his eyes. When the scoffer is punished, the naive become wise. But when the wise is instructed, he receives knowledge. The righteous one considers the house of the wicked, turning the wicked to ruin. He who shuts his ear to the cry of the poor will also cry himself and not be answered. A gift in secret subdues anger, and a bribe in the bosom strong wrath. The exercise of justice is joy for the righteous, but is terror to the workers of iniquity. A man who wanders from the way of understanding will rest in the assembly of the dead. He who loves pleasure will become a poor man. He who loves wine and oil will not become rich. The wicked is a ransom for the righteous, and the treacherous is in the place of the upright. It is better to live in a desert land than with a contentious and vexing woman. There is precious treasure and oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man swallows it up. He who pursues righteousness and loyalty finds life, righteousness, and honor. A wise man scales the city of the mighty and brings down the stronghold in which they trust. He who guards his mouth and his tongue guards his soul from troubles. Proud, haughty, scoffer are his names, who act with insolent pride. The desire of the sluggard puts him to death, for his hands refuse to work. All day long he is craving, while the righteous gives and does not hold back. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination. How much more when he brings it with evil intent? A false witness will perish, but the man who listens to the truth will speak forever. A wicked man displays a bold face, but as for the upright, he makes his way sure. There is no wisdom and no understanding and no counsel against the Lord. The horse is prepared for the day of battle, but victory belongs to the Lord. Again, we're being told, seek wisdom, seek knowledge, seek understanding. Make sure that your heart is in the right place. Be just. Watch the haughty eyes and the proud heart. The lamp of the wicked is sin. We need to make sure that we understand that. You know, all of us that have children are proud of our children, but not in a ways that are boastful. We're proud because they are part of us. And if we've done a good job with our children, helping to raise our children, they're bound to make us proud. And we are grateful for that. I know each time that I look at my kids and listen to them talk and know that they are much smarter than I am, by far. And I'm grateful for them. Grateful that I have a part in their lives. And, I'm proud of them. But I'm not proud in a way that I'm boastful of them. I'm not proud in a way that, hey, I made you the person that you are. No, I'm just proud that they're good people, that they have become good adults. We don't always agree. Surprise, surprise, the way children and parents do, but we have a strong respect for each other and a strong respect for each other's opinions. And sometimes we disagree mightily, but we'll always respect each other's opinions. This is also telling us, pursue righteousness. Pursue what is good in God's eyes. And that is part of my daily prayer. Help me to become a better person each day. Each day. Forgive me for whatever my sins are. Take away those parts of me that aren't pleasing in your eyes. And that's one of the things that I believe that God truly wants from us. To come to Him. To come and know. To find the good things in life. To be filled with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. To be a good person. To be righteous. And not just right in your own eyes. But doing sometimes the things which do not favor you, but favor those around you, to do the right things. And that's one of the things that we always have to keep in mind. Do the right things for each other, for the better cause of our world, for mankind, our little piece, because we are one small part of mankind. There's 7+ billion people here on earth. So we play a very small part, but we have a God who created it all. And we have a Jesus Christ that loved us so much that he went to the cross for us and took on all of our sin. But again, Proverbs is all about doing the right things and being a guidebook for us to follow. Okay, we're going to turn to Acts 14, and we're going to continue our following of Paul and Barnabas as they continue their road trip, as they are out making converts. Acceptance and opposition. In Iconium, they entered the synagogue of the Jews together and spoke in such a manner that a large number of people believed, both of Jews and of Greeks. But Jews who disbelieved up the minds of the Gentiles and embittered them against the brethren. Therefore, they spent a long time there, speaking boldly and reliance upon the Lord, who was testifying of the word of his grace, granting that signs and wonders by their hands be done his great. Let's read this one more time. Therefore, they spent a long time there, speaking boldly with the reliance upon the Lord, who was testifying to the word of his grace, granting that signs and wonders be done by their hands. But the people of the city were divided, and some sided with the Jews and some sided with the apostles. And when an attempt was made by both the Gentiles and the Jews with their rulers to mistreat and stone them, they became aware of it and fled to the cities of Lycaonia and Lystra and Derbe and the surrounding region, and there they continued to preach the gospel. At Lystra, a man who was sitting had no strength in his feet, lame from his mother's womb, who had never walked. The man was listening to Paul as he spoke. This man was listening to Paul as he spoke, who, when he had fixed his gaze upon him, had seen that he had faith to be made well, and said with a loud voice, "Stand upright on your feet." And he leaped up and began to walk. When the crowd saw what Paul had done, they raised their voice, saying in Lycaonian language, "The gods have become like men and have come down to us." And they began calling Barnabas Zeus and Paul Hermes, because he was the chief speaker. The priest of Zeus, whose temple was just outside the city, brought oxen and garlands to the gates and wanted to offer sacrifice with the crowds. But when the apostles Barnabas and Paul heard of it, they tore their robes and rushed out into the crowd and saying, "Men, why are you doing these things? We are also men of the same nature as you and preach the gospel to you, that you should turn from these vain things into a living God. You should turn from these vain things to a living God, who made the heaven and the earth and the sea and all that is in them. In the generation gone by, he permitted all nations to go their own ways, and yet he did not leave himself without a witness, in that he did good and gave you rains from heaven and fruitful seasons, satisfying your hearts with food and gladness. Even saying these things with difficulty, they restrained the crowds from offering sacrifice to him. But Jews came from Antioch and Iconium, and having won over the crowds, they stoned Paul and dragged him out of the city, supposing him to be dead. But while the disciples stood around him, he got up and entered the city. The next day he went away with Barnabas to Derbe. After that, they preached the gospel to that city and had made many disciples, and returned to Lystra and Iconium and to Antioch, strengthening the souls, of encouraging them to continue in their faith, and saying, through many tribulations, we must enter the kingdom of God. When they had appointed elders for them in every church, having prayed with fasting, they commended them to the Lord in whom they believed. They passed through Pisidia and came to Pamphylia. When they had spoken the word in Perga, they went down to Attalia. From there they sailed to Antioch, from which they had been commended to the grace of God, the work they had accomplished. When they had arrived together, they gathered the church together. They began to report all things that God had done with them and how he had opened the door of faith to the Gentiles. And they spent a long time with the disciples. So here we are once again. We have Jews that believed that Paul and Barnabas were doing too much, stretching the Jewish faith, erasing the Jewish faith, wanting to have people walk away from the Jewish faith to the new faith of Christianity. And Paul gets stoned. Paul gets stoned. And the people think he's dead, but he survives it and gets up and goes off with Barnabas to the next town. But these people that were there yelling that they believed that Barnabas was Zeus and Paul was Hermes, they had believed in Greek gods. They believed in Greek mythology, Greek and Roman mythology. It was their beliefs that that past gods had come and destroyed their towns and left these towns with nothing. And so they needed to celebrate. They believed that they needed to celebrate these gods that had come, Paul and Barnabas. And they wanted to celebrate them by giving them burnt offerings. They wanted to celebrate them by giving sacrifices. And Paul says, no, you do not understand. There is a living God. We are men like all of you. We all have our shortcomings. But they didn't want to hear that because they had faith in their old mythology. That's what had come down to them. And they truly believed that with what happened with the curing of the healing of the lame man, they believed, here it goes. We have got our Greek gods. They are here among us. They are going to be able to heal. They are going to be able to take care of us. And we want to stay on their good sides. But Paul, again, is telling them, stay with the living God. Understand there was somebody that created it all. And they wanted none of that. So that's where we'll finish up today. I hope everyone has a great day. If you'd like to share this out, we would certainly love you to do that. We'll take a quick look up here. We've got comments, which is awesome. Tom Ginn, it is with, let's see if I can pull this up. It is with gratitude. Thank you for sharing truth. Thank you for being here, Tom. Pursue what's good in God's eye. Absolutely. Absolutely do what is right. With God's Spirit in us, we are all one. Amen. Good morning, and so glad to hear this. Lona, good morning to you. I'm so glad that you are here. Gloria Brown, amen. And then Keith, sometimes our best intentions are misunderstood. Exactly. And especially if you're speaking to somebody that they have their own preconceived ideas on what's happening and beliefs. And I think we run into that far, far too often. And we have people that are misguided. But let's stay on the true path. Let's stay on the correct path. Wish everyone a wonderful day, and hope to see you again tomorrow as we continue our walk through the Bible, reading the Proverbs, digging it deep into the book of Acts, and as always, putting on the whole armor of God. And just remember, Friday, if you'd like to join us, we'll put out links there. If you'd like to come live with us, we'll just go ahead and send the links out. I believe we can get 10 people on there. If 10 would like to talk throughout the show, we'll do this talk about what's happening with the Bible, what's happening in our lives, just so that we can get to know each other a little bit better. And that's all this is about. Have a wonderful day. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. God bless. Talk to you soon. Bye.